Hello, chat. It's me. Almost said your boy, but that would have felt weird and out of place. Yeah, we got some stuff to do tonight, and the table's a mess, as you can see. That's because I got some stuff to show off before we get started here. Because I've been practicing my Slapchop, and I think I got a pretty good handle on it, as I'll show off in a minute. Get these guys all organized first. Go. Hello, Roxanne. We'll give people a little bit more time to get in here, and we've got some cleanup work to do before we actually get started tonight on painting our Aeldari Corsairs. But I've got a picture of Captain Harlock on screen so that everybody can see the inspiration for what we're going to be doing. I haven't even got my color set out yet because, first off, I promised that we would fix one of the minis we messed up last week, and then I want to show off the differences in the Slapchop techniques. Let me get the view of the screen up here where I can see it better. Make sure that I can see what we're talking about. All right, so first off, let's show the terrain, right? This was last week's terrain. It doesn't look terrible, I guess, but I wasn't happy with it, and a lot of what I wasn't happy with were the brush strokes that you can still clearly see here. It just comes off as sloppy in a lot of ways. But we weren't using the right paints, we weren't using the right dry brushes, so, you know, we had some trouble there. This is the new one. Might not be able to see a lot of difference between the two when I'm just holding one up, but when I hold them both up, the new one, as you can see, looks a lot more natural. And I think looks a lot more consistent. I think that the actually slap chopping it the right way made a huge difference between these two. Even if with the lighting that dark up there, you can't really tell that difference. Down here, hopefully, see the difference between the two. And where I think it really shines is when we look at our Tyranids. So we have one Tyranid is the one we did first, right? This is the one that we slap chopped wrong because we had the wrong consistency of paint and we didn't have the right dry brush. And as you can tell, it just wound up being a mess. The white was too bright and too heavy to really get any other color on there, and it was just unfortunate. This is the new one. And you can see quite a bit of an upgrade there. It's kind of hard to make out through the camera. We really need to, for showing these off, we really need to like have, oh no. Really need to have this light like aimed up. Actually, I have an idea that might fix this. Probably should have thought about this before. Make this light higher. Then when I hold them up this camera, you can hopefully see more of the difference. In this one, you can actually see inside the recesses where the dark is from the slap chop, and it made a pretty considerable difference. I'm not happy with the colors. I wish I'd painted them differently, but you can actually see the darks and the grays where I wanted them to be, the shadows. It actually looks like a Tyranid, whereas this one just looked bleached. So I definitely think that I've gotten better at slap chopping, and then I'm really proud of this piece of terrain. So I did a lot of practice with slap chop before we did this tonight because I don't want to mess up my Corsairs. I love playing my Corsairs. But first, I promised before we got started on that, we would clean off that other Tyranid, and I would show how we do this process. What I use is Smart Strip, and we're not sponsored by them, but Don't let it touch your skin if you can help it. All right. So, I promised we would show this off. I will. So, we're going to strip this thing now. Right, we're stripping live on stream. Again, just if you use this stuff, which does work wonders, it is beautiful how well this stuff works. Don't let it touch your skin. It's not like the end of the world if it happens, but you really don't want it to happen. Move a little closer so you can see me doing it with the close-up cam. It's not ideal. And the stuff smells really strong. That's why the fan is on full tilt, if you can see the water shaking constantly. Alright, so we've scraped a lot with this brush, this toothbrush, and I just use a toothbrush. We're gonna get a paper towel, wash it off. And then, as you can see, once we have the layers of the stuff off, it's back to gray plastic underneath. It is crazy how well that stuff works. And I had it soaking in there for about 3, maybe 4 hours tops. You can soak them longer, but eventually your model will melt. So eventually you don't want to soak them any longer. But from this point, we can just prime this baby again and paint it all over again as if nothing happened. And what I'm going to do after the stream is I'm going to stick this thing in some water solution, leave it in there. I'll probably dunk it in there a couple times just to make sure I get all this washed off, and then I'll leave it in some fresh water for maybe, so you can see more of the primer coming off and more of the paint coming off. I'll leave it in the water for maybe 2 hours, maybe 3. You can leave it in there all night if you just, don't want to get up and get it out. But then it'll be back to completely gray plastic like nothing had ever happened. So, more paper towel. Set this thing aside so we don't get this paint stripper on anything else. We're going to also take and clean off our toothbrush, which we'll also have to wash. Normally I just put this stuff straight into water, but I promised I would show how we do that. And I'm probably going to do it to the other Tyranid too, but I wanted to show the difference that we had between the two Slapchop methods. Alright. Just that simple. We're going to take one more paper towel. We're running low on paper towels, chat. I might have to get up and go get more paper towel in a little bit. That in there just so we don't get paint stripper on anything else. Set that over there, and then we'll get these gloves off. And now we can get the paint. And you should seal this with a mallet or a hammer, which I will do right after the stream, just to make sure get all that done. So this is basically part 2 of the Slapchop process. We messed up last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago. We messed up, but things are different now. I've practiced, and I feel much more confident in my Slapchop. It made such a big difference. You can't really see it on this camera. But we're going to do this real quick, chat. We're going to do this. Hold on. Not wanting to focus, chat. Well, nothing wants to work with me, chat, so you can't really tell all the extra detail, but it's definitely there, and it'll be really obvious with these. So let's just get started, because the tech doesn't want to work with me today, and it's making me look stupid. So, 10 minutes into the stream, we got all of our back end work done. We are going to slap chop some of our boys here. Now, these are the Aeldari Corsairs. These are Aeldari that have gotten separated. I appreciate it. I do. I think it's a pretty big difference between those two. Put them right there. You can see them, because I think it's made a pretty pronounced difference. But these are Corsairs. These are Aeldari that have separated away from their kinsmen and have gone to live on their own and raid and pillage and have a good time. Let's start with... Ooh. Who's going to be our guinea pig? I love all of these. They're all elite. Every single one of them special. This one is actually, I'm pretty sure, is a Drukhari mini that I grabbed on accident while grabbing the Aeldari. But we're going to do all these in Captain Harlock colors, because I love Captain Harlock, and also it's in honor of Leiji Matsumoto. So let's start with... Doesn't really matter. Let's start with Gunner. Alright. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the gray. Yep. Take just a little bit of this gray. Put it on our wet palette. And we want it just a little bit wet. Take my brush, get it wet. Good. Take a paper towel. You just get most of the paint off of there. We want it to be a very light amount of paint. Okay. Then, this is Slapchop. We take, lean in a little bit more here, so you might see a little bit more of my arms than you're used to, and we just dust it with the gray. And the point of this is that it brings out a lot of the shadows of the model. While also making sure... Alright, it brings out a lot of the color on the model while making sure we don't miss out on the shadows. And honestly, I kind of like the way they look just with the dry brushing. Although I really like the black too. The Abaddon black is a really good primer. But we are going to paint them because, you know, we want them to look really good, not just kind of good. So we just give them a nice coating of this. I have already noticed that on the bigger minis, you want to use the bigger dry brush, because it takes a long time to dry brush them. But even now, you might be able to see, even now there's quite a few spots in there where you can still see the shadows underneath. I really need to replace this camera, because it's not as high quality as I want it to be. Other camera, this camera doesn't have a cable long enough to go up there. So I'm probably just going to have to redo the setup again. To be able to really show everything. Well, the problem with the smallest dry brush is that you eventually run out of paint on there. Nice and dry, and we just coat that over. A lot of that good shadow in there. Turns out when you're using the right paint, it really does make a difference. Alright, so why Captain Harlock colors? Mostly because I really like Captain Harlock. He is 100% one of my childhood heroes. And because Mr. Leiji Matsumoto passed away, unfortunately. And there's not a lot that I can do to honor the man's work and his legacy and all that his works did for me. But every time that our Aeldari Corsairs show up on the channel, they're going to be done in Captain Harlock's colors to represent that, you know? Alright, so that's all there is to the priming gray. We're done priming gray, basically. Or highlighting gray, sorry. So now we go to white. And what we can do, I figure we'll try to paint at least 2 tonight, but we can paint them pretty quick with Slapchop, so we might get more, but I figure we'll start with 2 for now. So we're going to go ahead and do more of the gray while we got it, and it's still wet on the palette. Then we'll come back and do the white, which is the next step. As you can see, before when we were doing it, there was too much paint on the brush and details were lost. But now you can still see all that detail in the chest area. Kind of can't see. I'm trying to fix that right now. Yeah, you kind of can't see all that detail. Chat, we're about to do something drastic. We're about to do something drastic midstream. I want you to be able to see all this detail that we're doing here. The camera's not really capturing it. Underside of the blade. Boot down there. Bottom of the cloak a little bit darker. Side of Harlock's cloak is red. Gonna make sure we get the inside of the cloak too. Right? So he is primed all gray now. Hard to believe he was completely black a minute ago, huh? Makes a pretty big difference. You compare side by side. Yeah, what I'm trying to decide to do or not is to bring this camera down here and just have one camera tonight. It's going to mess up the whole setup, but it would be higher detail than this one. And at least you could see them a little better. I don't know. I'm just a little frustrated, chat. That's all. Don't mind me. In my attempt to always try to make the setup look better, I've found something that annoys me, and I want to fix it right now while we're trying to do something else and while we're live, which is not the time to be trying to fix it. But it's probably gonna happen. Shouldn't have done that. I should have kept that darker down there still. It's okay. We're gonna cover it up with paint anyway. Alright. So, wash this off. Water's gonna get pretty cloudy real quick. Alright, chat. I can't just not do it. I have to try it. I know it's going to mess up everything. The whole setup's going to look bad. This camera look better. The other camera. Right here. Looking at everything. We're going to set that down right there for now. I know. I shouldn't have messed with anything. Shouldn't have messed with anything at all. Because now we just have two cameras pointing at the same thing. That's not what we want. That's not what we want indeed. So we're going to do this, chat. Hold on. Dad, I think I've just made a mess is what I've done. I think I've just made everything look terrible. But it's too late now. It's too late. So, move to the next step. Look, sorry. I had to fix it. It's terrible. I'll have to fix it more later, but at least for now this will work. We gotta break everything every time, right? It was just really bothering me that you couldn't see anything that I was talking about on that camera. Because it was too cheap of a camera. But like for instance now, you can see all the detail in the Mini. Everything there, especially if I turn off the autofocus. Alright, I feel like all I've done so far is make some minis brighter. See, now you can actually see all the detail in there that's not in this one. It's a pretty big difference. And you may say, well, Trey, you just wasted a bunch of time and you've done nothing. Yeah, that's normally me at all points in my life. All right. get back to this. So, we've done our gray, right? What we want to do now is we want to do all of our white highlighting, okay? Trying to get the focus on what we're working on so you can see. Why our camera is so hard to work. I need somebody here just to manage the camera to zoom in for me and everything. Okay, hopefully it'll... I just want you to be able to see what we're working on, chat. That's all. I just want you to see what we're working on. Okay. Now that you can actually see what we're doing, we need to do our edge highlighting, our white highlighting, our zenithal highlighting, as some people call it. I'll take this white. We're just going to run it over all the stuff we want to bring detail to. But as you can see, there's still lots of grays and lots of dark colors in there. You may say, but Captain Harlock has all dark colors he's based around. So doing this is just gonna make those dark colors fade away. But in actuality, what this is gonna do is it's gonna allow all of the shadows that we want to be here to still be here. See, I'm not doing a very thick coat on the cloak at all because I want it to look pretty dark when we're done, especially towards the bottom. But it's also gonna allow us to bring in the color, make it look really nice. Sounds good, Roxanne. Sorry about all the fussing with cameras and everything, everybody. Normally, I wouldn't worry too much about it, but this is the one stream where, like, being able to see what I'm doing is kind of important, you know? And we may still use the other setup for building and use this painting. Do a nice wash of this over everything here. Make sure we get that all nice. I think we're starting to run a little bit low. Right? Thing. I'm gonna find a way to get that other camera that's not as good up top so that you can still see what we're doing. That's a lot more white than I wanted to put on there. Okay, well, that arm that's pointed up is gonna be a little bit more bright and vibrant. Probably be fine. Inside of the cape is going to be red, so we need it pretty well coated there. One thing I noticed with the Tyranid is I didn't put enough white in places. Made it kind of hard to get the colors I wanted. You may ask, well, then why not just prime in white? Well, then you wind up with stuff like the Death Guard that we have, where you can see the spots where the white paint is shining through underneath from the primer, and it doesn't look as good. That's why we had to go back over the Death Guard so many times. As you can see, this guy is now very different from where they started. Quite a bit of a difference there. Now we're going to get our other one. You also might have forgotten started in black. That's the cool thing about Slapchop to me, is they change pretty drastically. I don't want to do too much to the sword, even though it's the first thing I noticed and the first thing I was about to dry brush on. Because in the Harlock universe, their swords are very interesting. They're like a light gray, but they're also guns, and they're all like fencing saber style. So, now that we got all our cameras set up, we're going to actually see what's going on and everything. Captain Harlock, and why I want to do this so bad, is Captain Harlock, very important. My childhood. Bring the light down a little here. There we go. Should make it a little bit easier to see, a little bit brighter. Because Captain Harlock is really interesting. He is a guy that fought for the Earth and was in the Earth military. And he saw how corrupt they were, and it really upset him. A lot more white than I wanted to put on there, honestly. I'm going to have to make that pretty dark. But he saw their corruption and how they were asking everyone to die for their cause, but weren't actually helping people live, and it upset him. So he broke free of the government, the Earth government, and went on his own. Made his own, like, took a ship, the Arcadia, and made his own pirate crew. That was all about fighting for your own freedom and fighting for a freedom you decided. So, like, the people on his ship aren't fighting for him. They're fighting for their own individual freedom. So, for instance, one of the guys just really likes to put together plastic models. And society was constantly telling him that he was letting other people down because he didn't have a normal hobby. And so now he's on Harlock's ship, fighting for the freedom to build plastic models. Like, you go, man. You go. That's what Harlock, like, represents. Represents freedom. And he'll fight for anybody's freedom. And I just really respected that, and that really resonated with me. The idea that, you know, society constantly tells people how they have to be, but instead maybe all you have to be is true to yourself. Fight under your own flag. Under the flag of freedom. Alright. So, we got a little bit of extra paint on this guy than I wanted to, but it should still work out. If not, I'll just strip him and do it again. But we're going to let him finish drying from the highlights, and we're going to paint this guy our Harlock colors. Because now the contrast paint, that's the third part of this, contrast paint should really bring out all of the colors we're trying to get. One thing I didn't consider when I moved this light directly right here is it's now directly behind my head, and I keep hitting my head against it. There we go. Okay. As you can see, we still have a lot of our shadows. A lot of little spots under there that'll still look nice. And so now we're going to get to painting. We have our Harlock image up. You can see what Captain Harlock looks like. His coat is like a deep black, but it's almost like a sable black. And I chose this guy to start with because he's got the eye patch. Also, I see we did miss a spot with the white up there, but that's okay. And then we're going to do the hair in snakebite leather for Harlock's brown. I guess it's not quite snakebite leather. It might be Cygor brown. But either way, we're gonna do that. Not quite Gorgrunta. Might be. And then the inside of the cape is gonna be red. The legs are gonna be a light gray. So we'll go back over them with Basilicanum gray. And then the gloves are going to be, those will probably be Gorgrunta. Or those can be snakebite leather as well, I suppose. And then I gotta pull up a picture of the weapons real quick. Okay, so those are just like silver gray, because they're the gravity guns are what Captain Harlock uses. So, all right, let's get to it then. Red is only going to be on the inside of the cape, so we could go ahead and start with that. Of course, with Blood Angels Red. My favorite red. I love Blood Angels Red so much. One of the reasons that I chose Blood Angels as my primary chapter, the one I like so much. We'll get just a little bit of water in there to thin that out. Just a little bit. And then we take and we get to paint. And the reason we use the contrast paints is because it pools. Should make for a nice look with everything else that we've already done to make this model pop. As you can see, it's bleeding out just a little bit over the edges, but that should make for a really nice highlight. Come up in here. Really difficult to get that spot. There we go. That's the inside of the cape. Nice and red. And he doesn't really have any other red on him. That's pretty much it. But we could also take like the inside of the tassels and do those in red, because that would be the interior of the cloak. And the red does make for like a really nice off color for the rest of his colors. He does have top of his gravity saber's purple. Again, there is a color over there. How's it going, King? If you want to see Harlock for yourself, for our color references here. Yeah, I think we're gonna do this in black like the outside of it, but we'll do the back of it in the red. We'll do that in tough to say what color we should do the sash in. I think we do it in red as well. And one nice thing about these guys is because they're pirates, they don't all have to be uniform. We're going to make them all Harlock themed, but it does mean there's room for a little bit of individuality within them. So it's okay for them to have some differing colors on stuff. Alright, so we're done with him for the red. Yeah. Hey, oh no, Wendigos. Welcome to the stream. Me too. Yeah, I bet that PS5 is doing good for you, King. We are painting Aeldari Corsairs in the colors of my favorite pirate, Captain Harlock himself. I'm using a new painting method for me anyway. It's not new for the internet. The internet's been doing it for a while. Called Slapchop. People really seem to like it, and it seems to be working pretty well for people. And I'm going to tell you right now, having done it just a little bit, practice for tonight's stream, I like it a lot myself. It makes things much easier to get really good detail out of, and a lot faster. Which, since we have, a timed stream, is a good thing. There's a little bit of red in there, but we can beat that over with our black. Harlock does wear black for his upper body. Yeah, I understand. The old English dub, don't worry about that one, for sure. For sure. Now, thinking that was thunder, so if we lose power, not my fault. I think we're going to go ahead and do this sash in red too. I'm digging the idea of the red sash. And my headcanon for both of them having the lights did just flicker. So if the power goes out, chat, there's nothing I can do about it, and I'm sorry. I like the idea of these two both coming from the same place mentally of, we've got the red sash. Or holding most of the releases back, yeah. Stream through the phone. So, as I was saying earlier about Captain Harlock, if anybody doesn't know, one of the things, and the reason that I love Captain Harlock so much, is because he stands for freedom. And he's one of those people that's like, hey, what do you want to do? What is your goal in life? Oh, you just want to play video games all day? Fight for your right to be free to play video games all day. Come join the Arcadia. Don't fight because I tell you to. Fight for the flag of your own freedom. Like I was saying earlier, one of the characters in Harlock, his whole thing is he just likes to build plastic model kits. And society was like, hey, you got to be, working. You got to be a good part of society, working hard. And he was like, I don't want to do that, though. I just want to build models. And Harlock was like, well, come on. Build models on the Arcadia. Fight under your own flag of freedom. Like, heck yeah, man. Little bit of water in there. Okay, now we're going to do the black, of which we have quite a bit to do on these guys. Because we got to start with the back. Of the coat. And as you can see, because we slap chopped, there's a lot of really good detail that comes through here. With the cape. Relax, have good memories of friends. Yeah. So join the Arcadia and fight for your right to have that. Growing up, like I said, Harlock was one of my childhood friends, Fights freedom while being a compassionate protector. Yeah, 100%. 100% he cares about people. Growing up, I really liked to play video games, and I would often talk about how I wanted to make a job out of playing video games. I wanted that to be my career, And there were some family members that did not agree and were very frustrated with me. And would constantly tell me that I'd never get anywhere in life playing video games, and bills couldn't get paid from that, and watching anime and playing video games, it wasn't going to amount to anything. I was just wasting everybody's time. But old Captain Harlock said, hey, fight for the freedom to realize your dream. And look, if nobody else got me, I know Captain Harlock's got me. And that gave me hope, you know? I'll get weirdly emotional if I'm not careful. I do own my home now, yeah. Yeah, I bought my home with my own money. Fighting for the dream. Fight under the flag of freedom. Yeah, Captain Harlock wasn't cool because he could kill a man with a power saber, a gravity saber. Captain Harlock wasn't cool because, you know, he could do crazy stuff. It was cool because he cared about what people wanted. He didn't just come to impose his own will upon them, but he legitimately cared about who they were as people. He wanted them to be happy. So, you know, there's not really anything I can do for Leiji Matsumoto, you know, to prove how much writing Captain Harlock and Space Battleship Yamato, the work that he did on that, means to me. And Galaxy Express 999. But I can paint up these Aeldari Corsairs in Harlock colors, and then every time they show up on the board for a video or anywhere else, it'll be in honor of him, you know? Pretty much 80% of the world's expensive? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I agree, Ono Wendigos. And I agree, King. There's nothing quite like it. I just want to live my life. I wish that the rest of society was better about letting us do that. Alright, so we got the chest is in black. I think it might need another coat. We might have made it a little too light, which worries me about the other guy that we put more white on. That's okay. Let's see. Shoulders we're also going to do in black. Harlock's coat goes over his shoulders. So we might trim it with brown, even though I've already covered this one, that side, just to help bring out the color a little bit. I'm going to do something really crazy when we get to this guy. I'm probably going to do him last because I'm going to try and freehand the skull and crossbones of the Arcadia on there. I'm not a good freehand artist, so. Alright. And the bottom of the boots are black. We'll move on to the next guy. Trying to make sure I'm where everybody can see. Took the time to move all the cameras. You might as well be able to see what we're doing. I kind of want to leave the skull white on the boots. I think that looks really cool, actually. And very thematic for pirates. Thanks, Ono Wendigos. I'm really proud of this playlist, honestly. It has been tempered, I guess you could say. Some songs have been removed because companies don't like the copyright, but most of it is still here. It's starting to come together. Thank you, thank you. Not quite Harlockish yet, but it's getting there. You can definitely see part of what we're going for here. Master Grade Kshatriya? Yeah. Master Grade Kshatriya would be great. Alright, so we got the black done. I actually, I do kind of see the colors a little bit, you know? I see just a little bit of the Harlock inspiration in there so far. We're going to do black on the other guy next. And we're probably going to save the guns till last. Because it's going to be really difficult to get them with, a mix of gray and silver. Unsure what we're going to do about the face mask. What color is the mask that Daiba wears? I specifically remember there's an episode where Daiba wears a mask. I can't seem to find an image of it, so we'll just paint the mask in snakebite leather, I think. Along with the holster of the gun and everything. Him down for now. We're gonna work on the black on this guy. We're gonna definitely need more black on there. I have been thinning the contrast paints a little bit. They say on the stuff for it that you don't have to. What I find when you thin the contrast paints is it seems to apply a little easier without welling quite so much. I'm not thinning them much, just thin them enough that they well the way I want them to, as compared to just welling everywhere. Should give a pretty nice worn look while still having the trying to cover up some of the brush strokes here. There we go. And now, those little spots where the dry brushing, the Slapchop will shine through, will make it look a little bit more tattered and like it's been through the ringer. But it's also like a nice deep shade of black. MG funnel spam. Yeah, I understand. Trim that right there, and there we go. So that should dry nicely. That should dry very nicely. I'm so happy I moved the cameras over where you can actually see the details. All right. We're not going to apply it quite as thick on this part, because we don't want it to bleed into the coat. We still want it to be visually distinct. Yep. Right, you can already see where some of that is starting to dry. I've got a fan over here so that everything dries a little bit faster. Because when we're applying some of the heaviness that we're doing, it can make this stuff take a little while to dry. And also, it was like 81 degrees in the house earlier, so I turned a fan on. I wish I could play music from Captain Harlock, Space Pirate Captain Harlock, but all of that music is copywritten. But if we could play the Song of the Wandering Boat, Ashita no mai yumide, sumide, not yumide, I'd be really happy, but unfortunately we can't. That cape is looking nice. A little bit of the black bled into the side over here, but that's okay. You're not really going to see it in profile. We can always do some touch-up red if we need to. Chest is looking pretty good. Pulling up too close so I can look at it and you can't see it. I'm sorry. I'm bringing it back in. Forgive me, chat. Forgive me, chat, for I have sinned. I wish I hadn't said that now in hindsight. That just come off as creepy. Okay. Water. Thank you, thank you. It was supposed to be a joke, but I feel like there are going to be some people that are going to hear it and aren't going to think it's a joke. I was not attempting to criticize anyone's religion. Just to clarify, comment section. It's kind of weird with how like serious Atlas was about spoilers when P5 came out that they just let people use the music, but I sure am glad they do. I love the P5 soundtrack. You might notice I'm purposefully letting it well in places. It's because it makes it look a little bit more worn, a little bit more ragged. And I really like that look. That was a band right there that we just covered up in black. That's not what I was trying to do. I don't necessarily think we're going to be able to get it back. Oh, we did. Nice. It's still a little black down there, but I can overcome that with brown, which is what I want to color that band. Because Harlock has a brown strap that holds his pistol. So, get that with that. Okay, next up's the helmet, and then we can move on to our next color. As you can see, though, once you've got them slap-chopped, you can paint them really quickly. We spent the first 30 minutes of the stream taking care of everything else and not doing anything with the actual painting. And in the last 30 minutes, we have gotten primary colors done on both models. Do the helmet in black. I know it's a lot of black right now, but the other colors will bring the rest of it out, I think. And we'll probably take and put a little bit of red in there for the eyes, or maybe green in there for the eyes. What color are Harlock's eyes? Harlock's eyes are brown. That's not really going to pop with the black, so we might do some green eyes. All right, I think we're pretty much done with the black. There's a little bit of armor here. There we go. Alright, now back to our other guy. And I think what we'll do now is we'll grab the armor we missed on him right here. Unsure what color we're going to make his face. What color are they normally? We might just do Gilliman flesh. Let me double check. I know we're stopping a lot, but... models are expensive, chat. I don't want to mess them up. Sorry. There's... okay, looks like they do Gilliman flow. We'll do as well. That is the basic flesh tone for most 40k stuff, except for orcs and Tyranids. And Necrons because they don't have flesh, I guess. And also like Chaos Demons, their flesh colors are different. So I'm just wrong. It's not the standard flesh color. Oh, here we go. This will give me the motivation to get the right colors going here. Have a good one, Will. Although we could go ahead and get the light blue for the pants, which I think is Space Wolves Gray. That did not close all the way. Since we only need a little bit of it. Oh boy, chat. You know what that means, don't you? Time to shake. We're getting there. So for anybody who doesn't know, contrast paints will sometimes well in the bottom of the paint pot. And when they do, you don't get the right color out of them unless you shake them up. And unfortunately, the automatic shakers that you put them on that instantly fix them for you are expensive. So, there we go. Okay, so we're going to get the pants. Space Wolves Gray. It might take more than one coat because it's a pretty thin paint. It actually looks pretty close to the color I wanted it to look like. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. It just needs to give some different look and also be Harlock colored, of course, which is what it is. Harlock wears light blue slacks, I guess. They're not jeans. Once that dries, that should look pretty nice. Definitely hear rain falling on the air conditioning unit. Hopefully keep our signal. Everything's okay. Alright, while we already have this color in, we're going to go ahead and switch to our other model. It also lets us check on his cape, which is looking great. We had a little bit of a weld right here we don't want, so we're going to just... oh boy. Not how I wanted that to go. Yeah, that weld way more than I wanted. Okay. We're gonna have to fix that with the black in a minute. First, we'll get the blue pants. All right, now we gotta fix his cape. And for anybody who's like, what happened to the cape? I thought it was perfect. You said it was perfect earlier. It was perfect, except I'd put a little bit too much paint on there, not realizing it. And so what sometimes happens is when you have too much paint, it pools into these little bubbles. And you don't want those bubbles to dry that way, because that would be disastrous. But if you try to brush the bubbles away, the paint comes up and it doesn't look good at all. We don't need much Black Templar, we just need a little bit. What we're going to do is we're just going to cover up those spots. Paint did that. Like that. What I need to do is I need to raise this camera a little. I keep pulling it up above where the camera can see. What I'll probably see if I can do is if I can put the other camera like right here, looking down the other side. I liked the top-down view a lot. I really did. But I don't think it's really helpful for a lot of stuff. Because it doesn't really give you any perspective on what's going on most of the time. Alright, so we've got our pants done. So next up, let's do all of the snakebite leather stuff. Mountain Horde. Snakebite leather. I like snakebite leather a lot. It's one of my favorite colors in the range of contrast paints. Get us a nice pooling of it right there with just a little bit of water in there. And what we're going to do snakebite leather for are going to be all of the sheaths, all of the holsters, and all the gloves. Snakebite leather is just a color that really pops. Also going to get that band on his leg with it. Alright, and then also all the belts are going to be in snakebite leather. But the buckles for the belts are going to be in Nazdreg yellow. That's another belt up there. A spot we missed in black. That's okay, we'll catch it up. A couple spots we missed in black, but we know they're there now, so we can fix them. Alright, let's get the gloves. I know that technically these guys are wearing gauntlets, but Harlock's gloves are the leather, so that's what these are going to be as well. Because again, my goal is if you see them, if you see these minis, that you go, hey, those look like they're based on Captain Harlock. Might have to scrape off some of the paint there and redo those sections because you can see the circles and I really don't like that, but I can do that fairly easily. Just scrape off with some of the stuff we used at the start of the stream. We might still have it's probably not worth to do it right now, but I'll fix that later. It's actually a pretty simple fix, all things considered. What we'll do is we'll take the toothbrush we used earlier and just scrub off that there. I don't know, man. That's a lot of money to put down right now for me. It's going to depend on a couple things. If a couple things work out, then the answer is yes. If they don't, then the answer is no. That's the gloves. That's actually coming together really well, I think. Oh, we forgot the underside of the glove here. Yep. Right, and now for you. Belts. Holsters. There's a tassel on the front of that holster. I missed before. We'll have to figure out what color we're going to paint that in. The soul stones. We're going to figure out what color we're going to paint the soul stones in. Oh, I love the way this is turning out. It's turning out way better than I hoped it would. Only thing I'm still upset about now is the bag of that cloak. But even then, it almost gives it a little bit of extra character too. Like he's been through some stuff with that cloak. Cape. I keep calling it a cloak. Alright. What are we going to do with that on the back of the cape here? Harlock has like gold trim, so maybe we'll do that in the Nazarick yellow too. Oh, we were going to do the mask in this too. Right. I had forgotten. Gotta get it real close for this one. Ooh, last little bit. Okay. Ooh, that was close. All right. We probably should have done that in the black as well. So we'll catch that in our touch up because Harlock has a black eye patch. Kind of want to do another deal the Space Wolves gray over their pants as well. So we'll do some touch up, but next let's do the hair. I think it's going to be Cygor brown. I am so happy with how these two are turning out so far. All right, where is my Cygor brown? about to say, am I out of Cygor Brown? I shouldn't be. Here it is. Touch of water. That is exactly the color I was looking for. Visually distinct from the snakebite leather. Perfect. Oh, I'm so happy right now. Even with my terrible paint job, I can see the... I missed some more snakebite leather, too. I can see the Harlock in them. There we go. Alright, what color's next? Want to do the trim? Although I say Nazdrig. This is like a light lime almost. Nazdrig is going to be more gold. Could go Eand in yellow. Might be a little too light, but we'll see. Put it on the palette and see what we think. No, that's actually a lot closer to what I wanted for that, so that should work. Let's get a little bit of water mixed in there just to thin it just a bit. Okay, now we got to be real careful. Want that for the buckles, and we want it for trim. Go. Lights just flickered again, chat. I'm gonna put just a thin layer of it on the outside of this projection on their backpack there. I'm getting tired of Twitch drops. Super cool. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Oh. Chat. I hate to say it, I think we might have to call the stream. I just heard the clicking of the power saver, the APC. We're gonna keep going for now for a little bit longer and see how it goes. We're honestly almost done with these guys, but put way too much of that on there. What else did we want to do in the gold on this guy? Oh, right, this here. We'll keep going for a little bit longer. 'Cause we're almost done with these guys, but just a second. Okay. Sorry. The wife had messaged me to make sure I was alright with the storm going on the way it is. Okay. I think we're done with the yellow. These guys are looking really nice. I'm liking them a lot. Okay, I think we just need to finish up. Pull back out. We'll pull out the Gilman flesh. Flesh done. Then we just need touch up and the weapons. Need one more second. Just had a bad storm a couple days ago. I was hoping we wouldn't get another one quite so quickly. What can you do? Alright. Flash. Drop of water. Okay. Come in close again, chat. This is the color of his skin. It only shows up in a couple spots on the model, but we still got to be consistent in the spots where it does. All right. Is that guy's Gilliman flesh done? Guy doesn't have much. Oh, there was a flash. All right, chat, I'm going into double time mode. Okay, let's see. Got Touch Up Black still need to be done. Soulstones still need to be done. So let's do Soulstones and the weapons at the same time. Do those in Magos Purple. Actually, what color is the Soulstone on the default model? The Soulstones aren't in. 40k. Or you need Captain Harlock. They have them in... Okay, they just have them in white and the stone itself is green. Okay. We can work with that. Right? whims of fate. Okay, so the weapon. Gravity Saber. Oh, hydrate! I mean, there is a lot of water out there. I really love this Magos purple. It is a wonderful color. And the handle of the Gravity Saber is gray. I'm gonna do the blasters in the same so that it's all uniform. Hunter's latest video game, Lich or Living Insect Mind. Honestly, I'm kind of waiting on a game that uses the PF2E rules. Personally, just because I don't know the 1E rules all that well. I know the 2E rules really well so far. I guess not really well, but like I've been reading up a lot about them. But it could be fun. Baby, 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 baby. Alright. So we're going to do some cleanup. Oh, we're going to do this in the purple too. That's going to look really nice. We'll get some gray and finish up. Simple, understand? Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. Alright, so we're going to get... Yeah, we'll do cleanup on both the gray, or I'm sorry, on the leather. Actually, we could just do gray and be done with everything except cleanup. Do that. Let's do Basilicanum gray, then we're done on everything except cleanup. There it is. Leather figure holder, thank you. It's the official Games Workshop one. They didn't pay for it or sponsor, but I figure if they made it, it must be pretty good. Here we'll do the bottom of the guns in gray. Just to make that purple stand out a little bit more. Might wash a little bit of gray into the barrel. And muddy it up a little. Alright. I feel like I'm racing the clock before the power goes out. And then we are going to make this a power sword. So we need to make it pop. Harlock's blade is gray, but I really like painting power swords. We're going to make this a power sword. Use some Ethermatic blue. Mix in a little bit of water. That should wind up with a pretty nice look when it's done drying. It'll pop, it'll look nice. And then all we have left to do is touch up. Actually, we're gonna take this same color blue. We're gonna get it real close and we're gonna get the eye. Don't know if the internet's still on or not. The lights just flickered pretty rough. We're gonna finish up this touch up and then we gotta stop. We're in a race for power and I don't even know if the stream's still going. Snakebite leather! Got that. Actually, I kind of want to do the bottom of the guns in the leather too. For the handles. Alright. That guy's touch up with snakebite leather. Okay, I think we just need the black touch-up to go. We did forget to do his eye in the Ethermatic blue, but I think I still have enough on the wet palette that I can quickly get that. If we're still streaming, we'll finish up. If not, we'll finish up quickly. Power sword. A quick coat on that. Fortunately, with the Ethermatic blue, you do have to make it kind of thick. Alright, so we got that done. Gray back for just a second. These grenades that I forgot to paint. We go. Alright. 2 more touch-up colors and we're done. We need touch-up Space Wolves Gray, touch-up black, and then we're done. We got this. We got this. We got this. Alright, just touch up black to go now. Black Templar. Getting paint all over myself trying to rush. Alright. You need any touch up on him? Oh, that's supposed to be brown. We need to get the snakebite leather back. A little bit there. That for the black. Touch up over there. Touch up under there. On the edge. Touch up down there. All right, a little bit of touch-up snakebite leather, and we're done. I don't know. I normally just play with my wife. There was a local place that was doing it, but it shut down, unfortunately. Oh, I did need the black for one more thing. I forgot. I'm rushing. Well, mostly I just play with my wife. I wish the place out here was still open, and I wish that... Honestly, I wish I could open my own game store. That would be great. Alright, I think they're pretty much done. There's a little bit more touch-up I want to do. But we could also touch up forever. Well, and there's just not enough people. I live in a really small town, and I had to go to the bigger town close to me just to be able to go to that store, and even that wasn't enough to keep it open. Not enough people. You know? Unfortunately. Not enough people. His red actually looks pretty good, but I was looking at his red, and I might come back later and redo the skin a different color. I don't love the Gilliman flesh on them. In fact, I'm almost sure that I probably will come back with a different color. Because you can't really see the difference between the Gilliman flesh and his mask. What color are the ones in the article? Yeah, that would be great, man. They're a lighter shade. I might come back over it with like Skeleton Horde would work. A really light color. What I'm probably going to do is scrub it anyway, so let's just try it real quick and see. I know we're racing time, but I want to be able to say these two are done. Should hopefully lighten things up a little. But we'll see. Let's see, just one last thing now, and that's the power sword. We gotta finish the power sword. And we're done. Right? And that would be great. Anime shop. A hobby shop. I just got that all over me. And the table. What I get for trying to rush. Really hard to get an even coat the first time with either Matic Blue, but it looks really nice when it wells. If you can just get it coated over it pretty well. All right. All right, let's look at our two boys. I think we pulled off the Harlock look pretty dang well. These boys are going to be our models for the rest, so. I think we managed to pull it off. Captain Harlock inspired Aeldari Corsairs. Hello, chat. We're gonna go. We beat the storm. We're gonna go. And we'll be back Monday with... Thanks, man. We'll be back Monday with, of course, our wonderful... Let me turn back on the autofocus on here so fixes it. With, there we go. Our usual Monday show, Immo Mondays. Play Lotro. We'll be back Tuesday is the regular podcast. We'll be back Wednesday with Runger's Assignment, where he plays whatever games voted on Tuesday. We'll be back Thursday with the TTRPG podcast. We're talking about Norse mythology and how to use it in TTRPGs. And we'll be back Friday with building as we Astaroth Origin. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for coming to hang out with us. Sorry about the first 30 minutes. We can just be trying to fix the layout. But we got 2 fully done in that hour. So I think next time, 2 weeks from now, when we start painting again, I think we should be able to get 4 done, hopefully. Until next time, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Painting minis. Off.